be afraid of Les Stobbe. We met over lunch in a little cafe in Les's hometown in Tryon, North Carolina, about 5 years ago. He shared some of his 60-plus years of publishing experience, and I shared my heart to help busy women connect with God. It was years after he offered to represent me that I started to hear the horror stories of other authors' first meetings with Les. Apparently, God and Les had mercy on me that day in Tryon. By the time I had heard the stories of the agent that could make strong men tremble and weak men run, Les was already firmly ensconced in my life as my publishing father. And like my own father, I have come to respect him tremendously and love him dearly. And whenever I get the chance, I hug him, and he usually indulges me. I've also come to appreciate his straightforward Canadian style of communication. At this point in his life, he doesn't want to waste any time. I'll never forget the conversation we had about my first book. You have a marketable concept, but there's absolutely nothing about your title that would inspire me to buy your book. Why don't you take a walk and think on it? I took a walk, and I called him back an hour later. I took a walk, like you suggested, and I'd like to bounce a few ideas off of you. All right, go for it. So I share my best ideas. There's a long pause. Then his 6-word response. I suggest you take another walk. After the second walk, I hear the words every author hopes to hear. Now that's a title that will make an editor stand up and take notice. 6 months later, he brought me a contract for Hungry for God, Starving for Time, 5-minute devotions for busy women. I asked him one day how a Canadian Yankee who lived much of his life out west came to live in the mountains of North Carolina. An hour later, I fully understood the lifetime of publishing experiences that moved him and his beloved Rita all over the country. But the thread that wove through his vast publishing experience was the fiber that connected his life to the sovereign hand of God. Les knows in hindsight that every new assignment, every job, and every move was part of God's good plan for his life and his plan to use Les to bring himself glory. So the greatest gift that Les has given me and many other writers is the knowledge that every yes and every no, every open door and every closed door, every acceptance letter and every rejection letter comes from the author of my life, who is writing every chapter and crafting every character and setting up every scene to draw me closer to him and bring himself glory. In recent years, Les has chosen to step out of universities of the publishing world and volunteer to work in the nursery. While other esteemed and seasoned industry professionals are avoiding the unknown and the unpublished like toddlers with stomach viruses, Les is doing the opposite. A man of infinite patience, he's stooping down, holding our hands, and teaching us to walk, and then to run, and then to soar. And personally, I hope many of us soar to the top of the New York Times bestsellers list, so our royalties and Les's 15% will earn him more than the occasional cup of coffee at Starbucks. But even if we don't, I'm confident that Les's reward in the next life will far out exceed his reward in this life. Would you like to hear how I picture the first chapter in Les's forever story? Yes. It begins with this scene from Matthew 25, the literary version. When the Son of Man shall come in all his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then he shall sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all the literary agents. And then he shall separate them one from the other, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the godly on his right hand. Now you know why I made you sit there. But the ungodly on the left. Sorry to all you agents on the left. Then shall the king say to them on his right hand, with Les in the front row, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was a starving writer, and you helped me feed my family. I was thirsty to share my thoughts and ideas, and you led me to drink of the publishing well. I was a stranger to the world of proposals and submissions and contracts, and you took me in. You took my naked ideas, and you clothed them in order and beauty. I was sick of the whole process and ready to quit. And your emails visited me and gave me hope. I was in the prison of insecurity and doubt and discouragement, and you came unto me with wise counsel and good advice. Then shall the godly literary agents, with Les sitting in the front row, answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and took you in, or naked and clothed you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and visited you? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Truly I say to you, inasmuch as you've done it to one of the least of these my writers, you've done it unto me. Les, on behalf of the least of these, thank you.